To escape from my dangerously obsessive girlfriend who has influence in both the underworld and legitimate business circles, I chose to fake my death by falling into the sea and go abroad. She held a grand funeral for me. She even married my ashes. 1 year later, I was hanging around with 8 young models in the bar, but at the moment I looked up, I locked eyes with a woman's cold gaze. Bai Nan Xiao was stunned for a full 30 seconds. Then a cruel smile appeared on his lips. She drained her drink in one gulp. Then she gripped the railing and jumped from the building. But as soon as she landed, my figure was nowhere to be seen. All that was left was the text I sent on her phone. You got the wrong person. I am not your ex-boyfriend. The other side. I was so panicked I could die. How could I see Yi Wanqing again? Finished. I didn't have time to think and ran 5 blocks away. Once I was sure I was far enough from the bar, I stood by the roadside to hail a taxi. Fortunately, a vacant taxi stopped. I was just about to get in the car, when suddenly someone pulled me from behind. The scent of perfume on the woman. I'm simply too familiar with this. I didn't dare to resist, because I knew this woman's madness. Yi Wanqing dragged me to the nearest hotel. When we arrived at the room, she locked the door behind us. She looked at me with a cold expression. What are you running for? I didn't dare to move, just parted my lips slightly. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, she took out a gun, gently pushed my brain. Speak up. Wait until I pull the trigger. If you say it again, it'll be too late. I forced myself to calm down, but my voice still trembled a bit. Did my leg run away? I just want to go home. Gu Xiaoqing was so amused by my answer that she laughed. Her eyes were bloodshot, staring at me. You should know the consequences of lying to me. I'm asking you one more time. Why did you break up with me? I shot her a glance and spoke up. The letter I left a year ago. It's already been made very clear. I couldn't stand your random killing. I wish I could kill all the guys around me. Are you satisfied now? We broke up a long time ago. Let me go. With every word I say. Yi Wanqing's hand holding the gun trembled slightly at my words. She shouted sharply. Jiang Chen. Who told you? I agreed to the breakup. If you dare to say the word breakup again, do you believe I will shoot you right now? I nodded believe. How could I not believe you? As soon as I stopped saying what she didn't want to hear, Yi Wanqing's anger subsided a little. At that moment, she turned around. Seeing this, I quickly dodged her and ran towards the door. I was about to unlock the door. Suddenly, a loud bang exploded near my ear. My ears nearly went deaf from the shock. The hole in the door reminded me. This was not my illusion. Yi Wanqing has gone mad. She really dares to shoot. My legs went weak, and I collapsed to the ground. A tall woman walked towards me from behind. She looked at me with a lost and dazed expression. She smiled and asked, do you think it's because you run fast? Or is it because my gun is faster? I really can't stand this mental torture. No matter what, today, I can't be involved with this crazy person any longer. Otherwise, it'll be even harder to get rid of her in the future. If I have to die, so be it. I steeled myself and sat up abruptly. I looked at Gu Xiaoqing fearlessly. Either kill me, or let me go. This microphone is driving the woman insane. Yi Wanqing's cold, beautiful face twisted with a fierce expression. Her teeth were clenching, making a clicking sound. Good. I'll kill you right now. As soon as the words left her tongue, she used all her strength to pin me down on the bed. Late at night, Gu Wanqing sat on the sofa. My thoughts gradually drifted away. As the daughter born to Mr. Gu when he was 60, Gu Wanqing had been spoiled since childhood. But she has shown extraordinary talent since childhood. 3-year-old mimicking a gun. At 6, she was sent to train in M country. At 8, she became a god with a gun. Longtime associate of Gang ZX. By 14, she took over the 7M country's influence. She met me 2 years ago. At that time, she was chasing the leader of a rival gang. After killing several people, she leaned against the alley waiting for her subordinates. At that time, I, just an adult, was also being pursued. I didn't even glance at Yi Wanqing. I jumped directly into the trash bin. I even covered the lid from inside. 5 muscular men from F country chased after. They asked Yi Wanqing in broken English if she had seen a boy. Yi Wanqing leaned against the wall. She looked down at her blood-stained shoe tips. She couldn't be bothered to respond to them. The strong men searched the alley. They finally stopped in front of the trash bin. After kicking it, all 5 showed expressions of delight. The most aggressive muscular man opened the trash can, pulled me out. They want to take me away. I tremble all over. Suddenly looked at Gu Wanqing. Asked her in Chinese to help me find someone. Gu Wanqing replied nonchalantly. Help you? I won't make a losing deal. I bit my lip. As long as you help me, I promise anything. Deal. Gu Wanqing smiled faintly. In fact, from the first sight of me, she decided to save me. She swiftly took out a gun, aimed at the strong man's forehead and shot. Bang! Blood splattered all over my face. No time to wipe it off. Stumbled towards Gu Wanqing. The remaining 4 strong men finally reacted. Raised their guns and shot. Gu Wanqing fired 4 shots in quick succession. Bang 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 bang. 4 bodies fell one after another. As I ran halfway, my legs went weak. I collapsed to my knees. Gu Wanqing brought me to the black car at the alley entrance. The underling quickly opened the car door from the inside. After the car started, the underling Wei Er secretly glanced at me through the rearview mirror. Wanqing said coldly, "I don't want my eyes anymore." Wei Er was scared and quickly looked away. No wonder he was curious. The boss is already 19 and still a virgin. Suddenly brought back a handsome guy. Who wouldn't be curious? The person in the back seat was really anxious. This woman doesn't seem easy to deal with. Will she keep her word? What if she doesn't let me go? Can the police in Country F do anything? I called the police when I was chased by 5 big guys earlier. As a result, my phone got smashed. The car stopped in front of a villa in the suburbs. Wanqing said to Wei Er, "Get lost. Don't come to find me these days." Wei Er was stunned for a while before reacting. The boss is about to lose his virginity. But how many days is a few days? Inside the villa, Wanqing took me into the bedroom and the bathroom. "Do you want to wash yourself or should I help you?" "I'll wash myself." I was so nervous my voice changed. Wanqing nodded and closed the door. She turned around and quickly took a shower in the next room. She didn't dare to go far. Afraid that I'd run away. If I dared to run, she wouldn't hesitate to use some tough measures. I was indeed very honest in the bathroom. I just realized that earlier. This place is too remote. There's no way to escape. Even if I go in and out of the villa, I would soon be caught again. What's even more terrifying is, this woman also has a gun. Rather than anger her and lose my life, it's better to go along with her first. Wait until she lets her guard down. Then look for an opportunity to escape. There was a knock at the door. "Not yet." Wanqing's impatient voice came from outside. "It'll be ready soon." I hurriedly put on a bathrobe. Just as I walked out of the bathroom, Wanqing could no longer hold back. She grabbed me and pulled me onto the bed. When her once cold lips pressed against my lips, the two both froze. "This is our first kiss." Woke up the next day at noon. I cautiously tried to move my body, but I was suddenly held in place. "Where are you going?" The woman's voice was hoarse and seductive from just waking up. I nervously swallowed. "I have something to take care of." Wanqing smiled with her eyes closed. "You're very smart." Indeed, smart. I was testing her limits, looking for a chance to escape. Unfortunately, she had no intention of letting me go. She figured it out last night. She fell in love with me at first sight. Whether it was my face or my person she liked, she was determined to have me. I watched her in silence. Cold sweat pooled in my palms. This meant she didn't plan to let me go. Wanqing suddenly opened her eyes and looked at me. "First, tell me your name." I calmed down a bit. There was nothing to hide. "Jiang Chen." Upon hearing my name, Wanqing sat up, repeatedly murmuring my name, as if wanting to engrave these 3 words into her very bones. With each utterance, my heart sinks a little more. This woman clearly intends to keep me confined by her side. Wanqing got out of bed, dressed herself. She turned and told me that the clothes on the bedside table were newly purchased. "Get dressed and come down. After finishing breakfast, I'll drive you back." After saying that, she opened the door and went downstairs. I breathed a sigh of relief after she left. I picked up the clothes and put them on. I went downstairs. I saw the woman cooking eggs in the kitchen. I sat down at the dining table. My mind was filled with thoughts of buying a plane ticket back home after school. Immediately buy a ticket to return home. At that moment, Wanqing came over with milk and breakfast. "Eat up." I obediently ate, noticing that she hadn't touched her chopsticks. Wanting to ask but held back. This meal made me feel very uncomfortable. Anyone being stared at like this would find it hard to swallow. But I still finished eating. Gu Wanqing stood up and walked out. "It's not that you didn't wait for me. It's that she knows I'm terrified of her. If she got any closer, I might actually faint from fright." Gu Wanqing became more and more frustrated as she thought about it. In all my years, I've never seen a man so resistant to her. I'm truly the first one. I stayed silent the whole way. Gu Wanqing's expression was frighteningly dark. This man just hated her like that. He wouldn't even say a word. From yesterday until now, aside from her initiating the conversation, I've only said 2 sentences. One was a plea for help. The other was a test. The sports car drove out of the villa area. Wanqing asked coldly, "Where are we going? How long will it take?" My fingertips trembled slightly, suppressing the complex emotions. "First, let's go back to school. It will end tomorrow morning." Hearing this, Gu Wanqing gripped the steering wheel tightly. She opened her mouth to object. "I'll pick you up at 7 tonight." I forced myself to remain calm. Come back by yourself at 7. You go ahead and get busy. Gu Wanqing suddenly slammed on the brakes. Are you sure we'll see each other tonight? Think carefully about the consequences of lying to me. My heart skipped a beat. Although she has been very gentle from yesterday until now, I'm still afraid. I stared directly into her eyes. For sure. But in my heart, I was plotting. As soon as I got to the school, I would go in. By the earliest flight back home. Never come back to F country again. Gu Wanqing gave me a deep look. Silently restarted the car. Until it stopped in front of the school gate. We didn't say anything more. I looked at the familiar campus. I suppressed my excitement. Can I get out of the car now? Gu Wanqing stared at me intently. I really have nothing to say. I knew what she was waiting for. Waiting for me to admit that I want to escape. I missed my chance yesterday. I must seize this opportunity today. I smiled at her. I'll tell you tonight. Yi Wanqing nodded lightly without turning her face away. Got permission. I almost jumped up. I opened the car door, forcing myself to stay calm. Step by step, I moved away from this dangerous woman. As I neared the school gate, a shout suddenly came from behind me. I had to turn around. I saw across the road Yi Wanqing leaning against a sports car. Her voice clearly reached me. Jiang Chen. My name is Gu Wanqing. After saying that, she flashed a smile. The smile was too dazzling. I waved my hand. Then I turned and quickly walked into the academy. However, Yi Wanqing took out her phone and dialed a number. Her voice was cold. Surround Mo's College. I am an international student. I just attended my graduation dinner yesterday. In the dorm, I hurriedly packed my things. I stuffed my passport and diploma into my bag. I opened my backup phone. I booked the earliest flight. I didn't have time to grab my clothes and belongings. I grabbed my bag and dashed out. But I ran into the cleaning lady at the door. 15 minutes later, a cleaner was pushing a garbage cart, slowly walking out of the academy. It was indeed me in disguise. The perimeter of the academy was filled with people in black. There were both Asians and Westerners. Returning students were trembling in fear, afraid of encountering a terror attack. My heart raced as I pushed the cart. Thankfully, I paid to change into these clothes. Otherwise, I would definitely be caught. I lowered the brim of my cap. The mask covered half of my face. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of a person in black, surprisingly holding a photo of me asleep. A chill ran down my back. Fortunately, they only glanced over, and did not come over to question me. I ran like crazy while pushing the garbage cart for half an hour. Finally, I leaned against the wall, gasping for air. I quickly dug out my backpack, preparing to head for the airport. I turned my head and was stunned. Gu Wanqing was standing not far away, her gaze ominously fixed on me. See you tonight, Jiang Chen. You are very good at lying. Her voice was icy. I turned and ran. My heart was beating so fast it almost burst out of my chest. But I hadn't run far when Yi Wanqing grabbed my wrist. She said to me seriously, "Don't leave me. I like you." I was so shocked by her words that I couldn't speak. "I don't like you." Yi Wanqing hugged me. "I can wait. I'll wait until you like me." As the words fell, several men in black surrounded me. In the end, I was brought back to the villa. From then on, Yi Wanqing seemed like a different person. She prepared 3 meals a day by herself. She personally did my laundry. No matter how late it was, she came back to keep me company. Yi Wanqing gave me freedom. She just sent people to follow me from a distance. She took me around the F country. Anything I looked at for even a moment would appear in front of me the next second. For the past 3 months, Yi Wanqing had never lost her temper. Even when she knew I was lying, she didn't expose me. This was her first love. I just want to cherish it properly. As long as I don't leave, everything else doesn't matter. It was 2 a.m., and Yi Wanqing still hadn't returned. I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. In the past 6 months, Yi Wanqing was staying out this late for the first time. All sorts of thoughts swirled in my mind. Something has happened. Or she found someone new. Clearly, these guesses would be beneficial for my escape. But I couldn't feel happy at all. I walked barefoot to the window. I suddenly realized that I might have developed feelings for her. I remembered the scene where she saved me. I recalled the sound of her heartbeat when she loved me. I thought back to the past 6 months, cooking and watching TV together, and all those little moments of stargazing. Just then, a sports car drove into the yard. I rushed downstairs, and saw Yi Wanqing covered in blood. The doctor was taking care of her injuries. The situation was critical. Her vital signs were getting weaker. I knelt beside the sofa. I held her hand tightly. Yi Wanqing, I like you. As long as you're alive, I'll marry you. 2 minutes later, Yi Wanqing's condition miraculously improved. The doctors continued the surgery. Wei Er and Qin Feng quietly retreated with their brothers to the outside. 3 days later, she woke up in my arms. Were those words true? I nodded with a smile. I like you. It is true. From that day on, our relationship rapidly intensified. Yi-Wan-Ching wished she could carry me in her pocket every day. Every time we went out, it was hard to part. The day Yi-Wan-Ching just left, I received a call from my high school classmate Shin Miao Miao. One party wanted to hold an art exhibition in Country F. They wanted to ask for my help. I remembered how Shin Miao Miao took me to the hospital when I fainted back then. I readily agreed. I endured the pain in my legs and got up. I picked out a suit that Yi-Wan-Ching had bought. The driver took me to the exhibition venue. Mr. Jiang, I'm waiting for you here. I ran into Shin Miao Miao right after getting out of the car. Chi's eyes lit up as he approached. Jiang Chen, let's have a meal first. I politely declined. I've already eaten. Let's go straight to the exhibition. The two of them walked into the exhibition hall, one after the other. The driver in the car frowned. He hesitated and dialed the phone. The atmosphere on the other end was completely different. Inside the villa, Gu Wanqing leaned lazily on the sofa. She looked coldly at the man kneeling in front of her. How do you want to die? The man desperately knocked his head on the ground. Please spare my wife and children. You can deal with me however you want. The surrounding subordinates let out disdainful snickers. Yi-Wan-Ching suddenly laughed. She raised her hand and shot through the man's shoulder. She pressed the gun against his head. If you have any other requests, feel free to ask. It turns out this man had threatened Yi-Wan-Ching's subordinates without success. He actually killed the entire family of the subordinate. Now you dare to come and plead for mercy. Yi-Wan-Ching has strict rules for her subordinates. 1.do Not engage in human trafficking. 2.no Touching it. 3. No messing with the military or police. Suddenly, a woman and a child rushed down from upstairs. The child, seeing his father injured, wanted to rush over. 2 gunshots rang out. The mother and child fell into a pool of blood. The man opened his mouth in despair. But no sound came out. Yi-Wan-Ching stood up and instructed her subordinate next to her. Don't let him die too easily. After saying that, he left quickly. Just as I got into the car, the driver's phone rang. Upon seeing the caller ID, Yi-Wan-Ching's fingers trembled slightly. After finishing the call, Gu Wanqing's eyes were red. Meanwhile, in the art studio, I glanced at the time. Senior, I'm heading back first. I'll revise the painting when I get back. Shin Miao Miao looked at the time. Let's have dinner together in the evening. I waved my hand to refuse. No need, I'm not interested. Shin Miao Miao reluctantly probed. The junior already has a girlfriend. I nodded. I have a girlfriend. I admitted calmly. It made Shin Miao Miao feel both angry and upset. She liked me in high school but didn't dare to confess. Afraid that we wouldn't even be able to be friends. For the past 3 years, she always treated me coldly when we contacted each other. She finally mustered the courage to chase after me. He actually has a girlfriend now. I saw Shin Miao Miao frozen in place. I walked out without looking back. Shin Miao Miao's gaze was too intense. Even I, who am usually dull, could feel it. I should still find someone to deliver the painting. Let's not meet again in the future. Shin Miao Miao caught up to me. Jiang Chen, I'll take you home. Hearing this, I actually walked faster. I started running as soon as I saw the driver's car. As a result, I slipped and almost fell. Shin Miao Miao grabbed my hand to steady me. I hurriedly tried to pull away. Thank you, senior. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot. Blood was flowing profusely from Shin Miao Miao's hand. The pain made me break out in a cold sweat, but I gritted my teeth and stayed silent. I wanted to pull her away and hide. The next second, I was pulled into a familiar embrace. I looked up and saw Yi-Wan-Ching holding a gun. She fired another 5 shots. Yi-Wan-Ching, stop shooting. I hurriedly grabbed her gun, trembling as I spoke. The crazed woman coldly said, get out of the way. I want to cripple her hand. I quickly tried to calm him down. Let's go home, okay? Let's go back right now. Yi-Wan-Ching suppressed her rage and put down the gun. She dragged me towards the sports car. Shin Miao Miao yelled with blood on her hands. Jiang Chen. She doesn't deserve you. She is a devil. Yi-Wan-Ching turned around and was about to shoot. I pushed her just in time. The shot went wide. Yi-Wan-Ching grabbed my wrist tightly. She shoved me into the sports car. Amid the roar of the engine, the sports car raced back to the villa. Why do you want to save her? Yi-Wan-Ching questioned with her red eyes. I propped myself up and stared at her. She just helped me a bit. You want to cripple her hand. And you want to kill people too. Are you crazy? Gu Wanqing's face was frosty. Anyone who dares to touch my man deserves to die. I'll take care of the handsome one right now. After saying that, I took out my phone. Seeing the situation, I rushed to the balcony to jump down. Yi-Wan-Ching hurriedly grabbed me. Her voice trembled. Is she worth you risking your life? I shook my head. I couldn't bear to see innocent people die. I promise I won't see her again. Yi Wan-ching left in silence. That night, I had a high fever and lost consciousness. Outside the emergency room, when the doctor wheeled me out as I awoke, Yi Wan-ching staggered and rushed over. She tightly grasped my hand and wouldn't let go. The next morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Yi Wan-ching's red, puffy eyes. She spoke in a hoarse voice. Are you still in pain? Do you want me to call a doctor? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? I gently held her hand. You're asking so many questions at once. I don't even know which one to answer first. Gu Shaoqing lowered her head. It was my fault. I'm sorry. I knew she was apologizing for what happened before. But this apology shouldn't be directed at me. Shen Miao Miao just supported me for a moment. Then Gu Wanqing shot her 6 times. This apology should be given to Shen Miao Miao. The ward fell into silence. Until the doctor came for rounds. Yi Wanqing stood up and left. In the hallway, Wei Er brought food over. I saw the boss's lonely figure from afar. I felt a pang in my heart. Boss. To like someone, you must understand respect. After saying that, he quietly put down the lunchbox and left. Gu Wanqing stood in place. She understood the reasoning. But when it comes to my matters, she just can't control herself. Gu Wanqing returned to the ward holding a lunchbox. The next day at noon, Gu Wanqing went to handle the discharge procedures. Shen Miao Miao pushed the door open and walked in. Her left hand was wrapped in bandages. Her complexion, however, looked much better than before. Shen Miao Miao entered the ward. I looked at her in surprise. I hurriedly sat up. Senior, what brings you here? I'm sorry. You should leave quickly. My girlfriend will be back soon. 7. Shen Miao Miao smiled bitterly, feeling a pang in her heart. No need to apologize. I have never blamed you. Seriously focused on reading a book. Jiang Chen. I like you. Do you really not like me at all? There was a hint of hesitation on my face. De Miao Miao turned and walked towards the door. She didn't want to cry in front of me. Just as she was opening the door, my voice came from behind. Senior. Forget about me. Tears streamed down Shen Miao Miao's face. She left without looking back. In the hallway, Will and Qin Feng desperately hold Gu Wanqing back. Boss, calm down. Qin Feng was so anxious that he scolded. Wei Er, what terrible idea did you come up with? Wei Er felt wronged as well. She originally wanted Shen Miao Miao to see me, to make Gu Wanqing jealous. Unexpectedly, Yi Wanqing found out. She directly punched him. Boss, please wait a moment. Shen Miao Miao will be out soon. Gu Wanqing couldn't listen at all. I can't wait. After saying that, she coldly shook off their hands. Without looking back, she rushed towards the hospital room. Her mind was in turmoil. Will Shen Miao Miao run into Jiang Chen? Will she say bad things about herself? Will she? Just halfway there, she ran into Shen Miao Miao walking toward her. The two brushed past each other. Neither of them spoke. In the hospital room, I was about to get out of bed to go to the bathroom. Suddenly, there was a loud noise. The door was pushed open forcefully. Yi Wanqing strode in. I was taken aback at first. Then I quickly understood. She must have definitely run into Shen Miao Miao. Fortunately, I didn't hear gunshots this time. Yi Wanqing held me tightly. I felt her warmth and felt a bit more at ease. But it's still not enough. She directly pushed me against the window. She kissed my lips fiercely. I pushed her away forcefully. The kiss lasted nearly 20 minutes. Yi Wanqing buried her head in my neck and kissed softly. I gently touched her head and spoke softly. You can let go now. I need to go to the bathroom. Yi Wanqing lifted her head. I'll go with you. I quickly refused. No. I'll go by myself. Yi Wanqing finally loosened her grip. Okay, I'll wait for you. I walked out of the hospital room. I felt inexplicably irritated. I had always been surrounded by gentle and polite people since childhood. Suddenly encountering such a domineering woman, it was truly hard to adapt. At that moment, an apple rolled to my feet. I bent down to pick up. I saw a girl about 16 or 17 running over. The girl was wearing tattered clothes, with bruises all over her face. She looked nervously at the apple in my hand. Here. I handed it to her. Just as the girl was about to take it, she suddenly got bumped into by a passing medical staff. Her hand accidentally brushed against mine. Both of us were stunned. The girl hurriedly retrieved the apple. She ran away, blushing. I didn't pay attention. I turned around and went to the bathroom. When I came out, I saw a rainbow through the window. My mood instantly brightened. I walked up the stairs to the rooftop. I wanted to enjoy this beautiful view. Just as I reached the rooftop door, I heard a questioning grunt from inside. I inexplicably pushed open a crack in the door. I witnessed a shocking scene. Gu Wanqing was harshly grinding the girl's hand with her shoe. Her voice was cold. You dare to touch my man? You have quite a nerve. Qin Feng and Will stood to the side. Their faces looked terrible but they didn't dare to step forward. The girl lying on the ground was the same one from earlier. She was covered in injuries but didn't make a sound. Stood motionless, as if accepting their fate. Gu Wanqing lifted her foot and kicked at the girl's head. Blood started gushing out instantly. At a glance, it looked like she was going to continue. Qin Feng and while quickly pulled her back. Boss. She is mute. Her mother is seriously ill in the hospital. She works to pay for medical expenses. I just didn't expect to provoke Yi Wanqing today. Boss. Your brother-in-law should be looking for you. Qin Feng's words calmed Gu Wanqing a bit. She shot a cold glance at the girl on the ground. She turned to leave. After the footsteps faded away, I just walked out from behind the trash can. I pushed open the rooftop door. I saw the girl lying on the ground. She gazed at the sky with hollow eyes. As if asking, why not just kill me directly? Living was too tiring for her. I crouched down. I took out WXQ from my clothes. I'm sorry. I've implicated you. This card has no password. Take it to see a doctor. The girl was covered in blood. She struggled to open her eyes. She wiped her eyes with her uninjured hand. She looked up at me, but she didn't say a word. I became anxious. I was afraid Yi Wanqing wouldn't wait for someone to come out. I bent down and took the girl's hand. A card was shoved into his palm. I'm really sorry. After saying that, I was about to leave. I had just lifted my foot. Suddenly, my ankle was grabbed by a cold hand. I looked down. I thought the girl was going to hit me. I didn't expect that. She looked up and smiled. This smile is pure and joyful. I also unconsciously smiled. When she finally let go of my hand, I hurriedly ran to the rooftop door and left. The girl slowly got up. She raised the card and smiled at the rainbow again. The rainbow is indeed beautiful, but she doesn't deserve it. In the hospital room, Gu Wanqing gazed at the rainbow outside the window. She just went to the men's bathroom to find me. The nurse said there was no one. Is Jiang Chen avoiding her? She walked to the window and made a phone call. The phone rang for a long time before connecting. Hello, sister. The voice on the other end was surprised. It's rare for me to call my eldest sister. I've run into some trouble. Yeqing suppressed her inner frustration at night. After all these years, it's the first time she has actively contacted home. Gu Wanqing rarely answers their calls. It's a good day if she picks up 2 out of 10 times. Eldest sister. Is the F-country expert we talked about last time still available? Have him come see me tomorrow. On the other end of the line, Gu Yanran was taken aback. Yes, he's here. I'll arrange it for tomorrow. What happened? Do you want me to come over and check on you? At that moment, I pushed the door open and walked in. My nose was glistening with fine sweat. It felt like I had run back. Gu Wanqing said, no need, into the phone before hanging up. She took out a tissue. She gently wiped the sweat from my brow. Why were you running so fast? I will always wait for you. I pretended not to understand the deeper meaning of the words. I won't do it next time. After wiping the sweat, Gu Wanqing gently caressed my face. Promise me that you won't run anymore, okay? I was so nervous that I couldn't speak. Did Gu Wanqing realize something? After witnessing Gu Wanqing's brutality on the rooftop, I made up my mind to leave. I cannot understand her obsession and cruelty. Although I love her, I cannot accept her hurting innocent people. I can stop it once or twice. But what about when I'm not watching? I didn't dare to show myself on the rooftop just now, because I was afraid of my own presence. That girl might not even be able to save her life. With Gu Wanqing's possessiveness, it's entirely possible that I'll never see another woman in my life. This is not what I want. I have clearly kept my distance from other women. Yet I am still met with suspicion and distrust. I have decided to break up. Gu Wanqing looked at me in silence. Her expression darkened even more. What is Jiang Chen thinking? Is he thinking about other women? Or is he thinking of leaving himself? Anger surged in my chest. Yet reason reminded her that she could not cause more conflict. Otherwise, it would only push Jiang Chen further away. How could the possessive Gu Wanqing calm down? She grabbed me firmly. Say you love me. You won't leave me. I didn't want to say it. But seeing the turmoil in her eyes, I still spoke softly. I love you. I won't leave you. Those words, however, made Gu Wanqing sneer. That's not right. When you said you loved me before, your eyes were full of affection. Now it feels like you're just completing a task. I saw her smiling in a terrifying way. I panicked and tried to avoid her hand. Gu Wanqing directly took out her phone. We're clear this floor. No one is allowed to interrupt. We're on the other end instantly understood. He quickly arranged for people to clear the area. I hadn't reacted yet. When I was pressed against the wall, Gu Wanqing completely disrespected my thoughts. She totally ignored my feelings. I blame myself for being too naive. It was such a ridiculous mistake. Gu Wanqing wasn't feeling good inside either. Her man not only rejected her emotionally, even my body is resisting. Gu Wanqing leaned down and whispered in my ear, breathing hot air as a threat. If you dare to resist again, I'll make it so you can't get out of bed for 3 days. This tactic really works. I don't dare to move. Internally, I silently vowed. I must find a way to get rid of her. The last bit of affection completely dissipated at this moment. Until late at night, Gu Wanqing finally helped me clean up. Looking at me, dozing on the bed, I murmured in my dream, I love you. Clearly, I'm tormented by her in my dreams. This relationship has become a complete mess because of her. When her stubbornness kicks in, she can't even control herself. Jiang Chen must hate her even more. Tomorrow, when Jiang Chen wakes up, we must have a good talk. Talk about her condition. Once we talk, she will be willing to cooperate with the treatment. As long as Jiang Chen doesn't leave, she will be willing to change anything. What kind does Jiang Chen like? She learns to be just that. If she can't learn, she'll pretend. Pretend for a lifetime. Jiang Chen doesn't like her killing, so she tries not to kill. As long as Jiang Chen doesn't leave. It's 4 in the morning. The shrill ringtone of the phone suddenly goes off. I, lying on the bed, irritably cover my ears. I kicked the woman holding me with my foot. Wanqing got up to answer the phone. One hand gently covers my ear. Boss. The department was taken down by HSD. On the other end of the line, Will shouted anxiously. Gu Wanqing tightened her grip on the phone. But she lowered her voice and said, arrange for personnel. Return to M country in half an hour. After saying that, she hung up the phone. She turned to look at me, who was asleep. She hesitated whether to take me with her. But thinking of the dangers of this trip, she still gave up that idea. Gu Wanqing got out of bed quietly. She took out the QZ from the safe. After preparing everything, she leaned down and stared at me. She gently kissed my swollen, red lips. Then turned and left. The driver, Wenling, was sleeping in the car downstairs. Xiang Wanqing woke him up. Keep an eye on Jiang Chen. Fulfill all his demands. After saying that, she drove away. No one expected. I had actually been awake for a long time. Will's loud voice made me hear all the conversations clearly. I lifted the rug and took out the hidden HC and Z. This was the escape route I prepared when I came in. Now is the perfect time to escape. I quickly changed into my black sportswear. I left a brief breakup note by the bedside, accusing Gu Wanqing of her violent actions and pathological possessiveness, telling her not to come looking for me. While it was still dark outside, I must hurry to escape. Otherwise, if Gu Wanqing sends more people, there won't be any chances left. Right now, I just need to find a way to get rid of the guard, Wenling. I quietly left a note. I sneaked out of the room in the dark. I tiptoed down the stairs. I stealthily made my way into the kitchen. I pushed open the window and jumped out. My legs went weak, and I almost fell. I gritted my teeth and held on to stand firm. I turned and crawled into the dog hole. This dog hole was left by the hunting dogs that Gu Wanqing raised back then. That fierce dog, just as violent as its owner. It would almost pounce and bite me. Shot dead by Gu Wanqing. A moment's thought brings me to today. This dog hole became my lifeline. After coming in and out of the villa, I noticed 2 black sedans parked not far away. 7 or 8 men in black were playing cards. DLL are all under Gu Wanqing. Just when I was feeling desperate, the phone of the leader of the men in black rang. They put away their cards and turned to get into the car. I seized the opportunity. I darted out swiftly. The drizzle masked my sounds. I desperately run along the path. Tears mix with the rain as they flow down. I don't know if it's joy or reluctance. When I reach the highway, the sky is just beginning to brighten. The road is completely deserted. Suddenly, a business car drives up behind me. I take my chances. I stand in the middle of the road to stop the car. I gamble that this car isn't belonging to Gu Wanqing. If I win, I can fly far away. If I lose, I return to the cage. Fortunately, there is a family of 3 in the car. They heard that I was going to the airport. Kindly gave me a ride. It wasn't until the plane took off that I truly relaxed. I finally escaped that suffocating place. The plane flies directly to country Y. I look out the window at the fading country F. I softly say goodbye. At the same time, on the helicopter flying to country M, Dong Wanqing clutches her chest, looking pale. Will and Qin Feng look at her with concern. Wanqing takes out her phone. She dials that familiar number. The helicopter hovered in the air. The phone was never answered. Gu Wanqing sighed. She shoved her phone back into her pocket. 6 months later, in an ICU in country M. After 6 months in a coma, Gu Wanqing finally opened her eyes. The room was filled with people. Will knelt beside the bed on one knee. This tough guy cried like a child. Boss. You finally woke up. Will said, choked up. The fierce battle from 6 months ago. Gu Wanqing frequently zoned out. In the end, she was shot by an HSD sniper. The doctors had declared she might never wake up. That's great. Qin Feng's eyes also turned red. If you don't wake up soon, We're really going to go crazy. Gu Wanqing stared at Will and Qin Feng. She hoarsely asked, "Where is Jiang Chen? You didn't tell him I was injured, right?" The room fell silent instantly. Will and Qin Feng avoided eye contact. I couldn't bear to look directly. Yi Wanqing suddenly sat up. Jiang Chen had an accident. Qin Feng spoke. Qin Feng sighed. He took a piece of paper from the drawer and handed it over. Yi Wanqing's hands were shaking. Half an hour later, she stared intensely at the paper. Today's letter. Jiang Chen no longer wanted her. Everyone go out. Wait for everyone to leave. Yi Wanqing's tears fell onto the paper. She hates my ruthlessness. She hates my indifference. She hates that I didn't even say it to her face when breaking up. At the moment she was shot, she was still thinking of me. But what about me? Am I celebrating that I finally got rid of her? Yi Wanqing raised the letter to tear it up. She pressed it hard against her chest, reluctant to let go. This is the only thing Jiang Chen ever gave her. Good Jiang Chen. You can run away. I'll let you go. You don't want me. I don't want you anymore either. A month later, Gu Wanqing was discharged from the hospital. His subordinates were trembling with fear. The old DB is scarier now than it used to be. Standing beside her. It feels like standing in an ice cellar. Those who don't know might think they've caught rheumatism. YZH in City Y of Country M. On Suer's 23rd birthday, he called his brothers to his own YZH to celebrate. A private room that should be lively was oddly quiet. Gu Wanqing happily leaned against the sofa. Under the dim lights, her outline was tinged with a golden hue. She swirled her wine glass. She spoke softly. You all continue to play. These words felt like a lifted ban. The private room instantly became lively. The sounds of dice and laughter echoed back and forth. Suddenly, a sharp scream broke the atmosphere. Let go of the bead. I was forced to come. At that moment, Ava suddenly lunged at Gu Wanqing. But she was kicked away just as she touched her pant leg. Don't tell the manager. He will kill me. Ava curled up on the ground. Unfortunately, there wasn't a single fool present. Yi Wanqing disgustedly waved her hand. She signaled Will to take the person away. Ava took advantage of Will's distraction. Ava grabbed the wine glass and lunged at Gu Wanqing. The liquid splashed on her pants. The next second, the scale. The wine glass exploded above Ava's head. Blood instantly smeared across his face. Yi Wanqing trembled as she took out the neatly folded letter from her pocket. The moment she saw it soaked in wine, her eyes were bloodshot, radiating murderous intent. The letter was about to fall apart at a touch. Yi Wanqing was trembling so much her teeth chattered. Qin Feng was the quickest to react. He dashed to the bathroom to get a hairdryer. He set it to the lowest setting. He carefully handed it to Gu Wanqing. Sister Wanqing. An extremely awkward scene. More than 20 people were sitting on the sofa. This spring, their leader used a hairdryer to dry the breakup letter left by the brother-in-law. They were too familiar with this letter. The leader takes it out to look at every day. Just one look can last half a day. Sometimes, his eyes would be red. Half an hour later, Gu Wanqing finally dried the letter. But upon opening it, the handwriting was all blurred. The temperature in the private room instantly dropped to freezing point. Yi Wanqing took out the SQ, aimed it at the unsteady Ava, who was in pain. Will let her go and stepped aside. Immediately after, a barrage of gunfire erupted in the private room. It lasted for a full 10 minutes. When Gu Wanqing came out, she stumbled unsteadily. She carefully protected her chest with both hands, as if she was carrying some treasure. Will drove away all the women in the private room. Irritated, he lit a cigarette. Still haven't found the brother-in-law. The boss doesn't allow it. But it's too painful to see her like this. Drinking until completely intoxicated every day. Sleeping no more than 2 hours. Taking on a mission without caring for one's life. Not even using a gun. The manager of YZH came in. Seeing Ava, who was beaten to a pulp, finally felt relieved. Suer waved his hand. Dragged away to be fed to the dogs. The manager immediately grabbed him by the hair and dragged him away. Inside the villa, Yi Wanqing had red eyes. Staring at the breakup letter on the table. Holding her head in pain. Jiang Chen, you need to rewrite a letter. A few months later, Gu Wanqing finally found Jiang Chen's whereabouts. This man was hiding too well. In a remote town in country Y. Never using real information. Not even showing up at trade shows. Now he must return to country Z. Gu Wanqing was able to trace Jiang Chen's whereabouts. All thanks to monitoring Shen Miaomiao's little brother for tips. It turns out Jiang Chen sent something to Shen Miaomiao. A priceless painting worth over 100 million as compensation. If it weren't for this painting, Gu Wanqing might never find me. She sent someone to thoroughly investigate Jiang Chen's background. She discovered that she returned to the country for blind dates. This infuriated Gu Wanqing, and she smashed the study on the spot. She suppressed the urge to immediately fly to country Y to capture someone. She booked the earliest flight back home to wait for an opportunity. She wanted to see Which blind man would dare to marry her? She wanted to see just how heartless this cruel man could be. In the hotel room, Gu Wanqing was pulled back to reality from her memories. She walked toward the sleeping Jiang Chen on the bed. Even though Jiang Chen lay right in front of her, she still felt a hollow ache in her heart. She had returned a few days earlier than Jiang Chen. Last night, while partying with her 9 sisters at the bar, she heard that Jiang Chen had also come. Gu Wanqing was overjoyed. But when she excitedly went to find someone, she saw the man she had been thinking about day and night, actually staring at the female models dancing. And it was a group of female models. Gu Wanqing could hardly believe her eyes. Until Jiang Chen turned around and their eyes met. She had no choice but to accept this fact. She was so angry she felt like she was going to explode. She had never been this angry in her life. What made her even more furious was, Jiang Chen ran away as soon as he saw her. Was she a ghost? So terrifying. Or was she not good enough for Jiang Chen? Gu Wanqing knelt on the bed. The more I looked at the sleeping Jiang Chen, the angrier I became. How could Jiang Chen sleep so soundly? The next morning, I just opened my eyes, and my entire body was overwhelmed with soreness. Suddenly, the phone buzzed. I took out my phone and answered the call. Jiang Chen, have you been enjoying yourself these past few days? On the other end of the line, Yan Liang's lewd laughter could be heard. With a darkened face, he glanced at the woman sleeping in bed. Lowering his voice, hurry and pick up Chiu at the hotel. The sooner, the better. Yan Liang was stunned. Just yesterday, he was betting with Wei Yan, saying that Yi Wanqing was most likely Jiang Chen's ex-girlfriend. This reunion is bound to reignite old feelings. Square root, but listening to this tone, how does it sound like he was forced? I'll be there soon. Yan Liang put away his jokes, grabbed the car keys and ran outside. I had just hung up the phone, about to get dressed. Suddenly, a hand pulled at my clothes from behind. I was pulled back onto the bed again. Gu Wanqing hovered above me, with a smile that seemed sincere yet mocking. Why don't you answer her? Aren't you feeling upset these past couple of days? SJB. I turned my face away. Let me go back. We'll talk about it another day. Gu Wanqing suddenly got up. If you want to leave, first, marry me. What? I abruptly sat up. I will never marry you. Not to mention how terrifying this woman is. Besides, I haven't loved her for a long time. How could I possibly agree to such a request? Gu Wanqing lowered her eyes, her voice deep. Jiang Chen, I'm not discussing this with you. I forced back my tears, but they still fell uncontrollably. I said softly, Gu Wanqing, it's all in the past. Let yourself go. Just let me go. Gu Wanqing sneered coldly. You say it's in the past, so it's in the past. I can't do it. Jiang Chen, did you really love me? Why can you let go so easily? This question makes my heart uneasy. I may have loved you, but that love was not entirely pure. You're just reluctant. It will happen soon. Reluctant. Gu Wanqing suddenly laughed, her voice hoarse. Jiang Chen, can't you see? I can't do without you. After saying that, her trembling hand gently stroked my face. Will you marry me? Stay by my side. I miss you so much that I can't go on living. I remained silent. Gu Shaoqing grabbed my hand and pressed it against her chest. It hurts so much here. Please, help me. At that moment, my phone rang abruptly. Gu Wanqing answered it first. I took him back. After saying that, she hung up immediately. She scrolled through the chat history. Her expression grew increasingly worse. Who is Su Yanran? She suddenly grabbed my neck. Her eyes were bloodshot. You want to be with her, don't you? I was pointed at, my face turning red. I was holding back tears. Only then did Gu Wanqing release her grip. She handed me the phone with a cold expression. Tell him. You have a girlfriend now. I trembled as I took the phone. Su Yanran is my landlord in White Country. She has always treated me well. Before this trip back home, I had originally planned to agree to date her after returning. But now, I had just dialed the number. The phone was snatched by Gu Wanqing and put on speaker. Darling, are you coming back? Su Yanran's gentle voice came from the receiver. Yi Wanqing's gaze was terrifying. Su Yanran. I'm not going back to country. Why? I said hurriedly. Gu Wanqing grasped his chin. She mouthed an order. Keep talking. My voice trembled. I have a girlfriend now. Don't contact me anymore. Su Yanran said eagerly. I'm going to country Z to find you right now. I was so scared that I could hardly hold my phone steady. I know. If Su Yanran truly comes. Gu Wanqing suddenly smiled. That smile was chilling. Okay. I'll wait for you. Yi Wanqing stared at Jiang Chen. But the words were directed at Su Yanran. Good. Ms. Gu. Su Yanran's answer made Jiang Chen shudder. I have never mentioned Gu Wanqing to Su Yanran. How did she know? Su Yanran, don't come. She's a lunatic. I struggled to grab the phone. Yi Wanqing suddenly stood up. The phone smashed against the wall and shattered. She irritably turned and walked towards the window, just so afraid that she might die. Gu Wanqing's voice was laced with sarcasm. I looked at her helplessly. Don't kill innocent people for me anymore. Innocent. Gu Wanqing turned away with a cold smile. Do you really think she knows nothing? I clenched my fists. I don't care what grudges you have. As long as it's not because of me. Gu Wanqing smiled. Sure. Let's get the marriage certificate first. I said firmly. Impossible. I will never force myself. Gu Wanqing took out her phone. She pretended to dial. I hurriedly grabbed her hand. Wait. Let me think about it again. 10 seconds. Gu Wanqing started the countdown. 19. I closed my eyes in despair. I agree. Gu Wanqing heard that I was willing to marry her. She trembled with excitement. She held me tightly. Ignoring my struggles. Countless kisses fell on my face. After a full 10 minutes. Did she reluctantly let go? Gu Wanqing, dressed, brushed SQ against her waist. She grabbed my bag and pulled me outside. On the way to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The LB bikini sped along. While waiting for the red light. She kept kissing me. The smile at the corner of her mouth grew deeper. An hour later. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. This newlywed couple attracted the attention of passers-by. The woman laughed like a madwoman. The man, however, remained expressionless. Gu Wanqing gently took away the marriage certificate. Husband. Let's go eat first. Then buy the ring, okay? Not waiting for my reply. She pulled me along. 3 was as happy as a child. I couldn't be bothered with Xian. Anyway, it was useless to say anything. Until she took me home in the evening. Only then did Gu Wanqing become upset. Husband. Today is our wedding day. You should be the one to compensate. She held my hand and wouldn't let go. I'm getting a headache from her nagging. Let me get out of the car quickly. My husband's angry expression is really attractive. Wanqing smiled with indulgence. I can hardly believe this is the same person. I forcefully pried her hand open. I rushed out of the car as if in a dash. Wanqing watched my figure from behind. She laughed so hard she was doubled over. She took out the marriage certificate and gently stroked the model. I sat in the car for a long time before leaving. At the entrance of the Gu family villa, Butler Li saw me. He was so excited that tears streamed down his face. Young master. You have finally returned. I gave him a hug. Grandpa Li, don't cry. You should be happy that I'm back. Happy. Seeing the young master. The old man was so happy. Butler Li quickly wiped away his tears. Butler Li slapped his forehead. Young master. Mr. Yan and Mr. Wei are waiting for you in the living room. Saying that your phone couldn't get through. I specifically came here to wait for you. I nodded. Grandpa Li, please go ahead and get busy. After finishing speaking, he walked towards the villa. Butler Li hurried to the kitchen to prepare dinner. He muttered to himself. The young master has lost weight while abroad these past few years. When will the master and mistress be able to return from the battlefield? I need to send a text message quickly. What if they come back and find out? What should we do if the young master goes to country 7Y again? In the living room. Wei Yan was leaning on the sofa in his business attire. He closed his eyes to rest. Yan Liang was crossing his legs and shouting angrily at his phone. The jungler on the other side has come to gank me 3 times. Why aren't you coming over to help? I was stunned by the volume as soon as I walked in the door. My ears hurt. I rubbed my ears. I sat down on the opposite sofa. Yan Liang spotted me right away. I didn't even play the game anymore. He folded his phone and leaned in closer. Why aren't you answering the phone? Is it that Wanqing is too intense? Wei Yan also opened his eyes and looked at me. I got up, feeling exhausted. I flew over to the wine cabinet, opened a bottle of red wine, and drank straight from it. With this tilt of my head, Wei Yan and Yan Liang clearly saw the marks on my neck and hands. Yan Liang swallowed hard. He whispered to Wei Yan. Wanqing is so ruthless. It's quite something. Wei Yan didn't say anything. He watched as I opened another bottle of wine. He quickly stepped forward to snatch it away. Just thinking about Gu Wanqing's actions makes me upset. Wei Yan and Yan Liang realized that their friend might be. How can one accept this? They originally thought the phone being unreachable meant I had reconciled with Gu Wanqing. After all, when Yan Liang went to pick someone up at the hotel, I didn't go downstairs. There was no sound of resistance on the phone. Yan Liang walked up to me. His expression was unusually serious. She pressed her hands on my shoulders. Her voice was somewhat shaky. Jiang Chen. Is what Wei Yan said true? You don't want to. I do want to. I blurted it out. I can't tell the truth. Wei Yan and Yan Liang have treated me like a little brother since childhood. If they knew I was being forced into marriage, they would definitely go after Gu Wanqing recklessly. But how could they possibly fight the Gu family? I don't want to drag anyone else into this anymore. Wei Yan and Yan Liang exchanged a glance. My heart sank. They know me too well. This guy's tone always changes when he lies. I just don't realize it myself. Yen Liang stumbled back 2 steps. Often on the bar shelf. It doesn't matter how wild he usually plays. But I can't handle it. Gu Wanqing, that hateful demon. Yen Liang grabbed the fruit knife from the coffee table and was about to rush out. I quickly stopped him. Don't be impulsive. I really volunteered for this. Yen Liang threw away the knife in frustration. I'm sorry. Brother, I heard you. Wei Yan threw back a glass of red wine. He directly dialed the phone. Gu Wanqing. NTM, listen to me. At this moment, the 10 sisters of the Gu family were gathered together. The 9th sister held up her phone on speaker mode, looking completely confused. Turns out Gu Wanqing announced her marriage as soon as she got home. Although unexpected, the sisters were all very happy. After all, this emotionally distant younger sister finally has someone she loves. The Gu family's youngest sister indeed acted quickly this time. Even the parents from both sides haven't met. They forced them to get the certificate. But it doesn't matter. The rest will be left to a few sisters and elders to apologize to the Jiang family. The eldest sister of the Gu family was in a good mood. She was thinking of cooking a meal for her sisters to celebrate. She headed to the kitchen. Then, Wei Yan's call came in. The eldest Gu sister is curious about this future brother-in-law calling late at night. The quality hand pressed the speakerphone. It's exciting to hear such explosive content. On the sofa, Gu family's 2nd and 3rd sons, along with Gu Yanbing, were drinking. Suddenly heard Wei Yan's curses. Almost choked on the drink. Only Gu Wanqing remained the calmest. One person sat on the opposite sofa, fingers gently caressing the photo on the marriage certificate. A smile playing on the lips. Gu Wanra furrowed her brow and walked out of the kitchen. While wiping her hands, she asked, suppressing her anger. Wei Yan, what are you going crazy about? Going crazy? Ask your sister what good deeds she's been up to. I thought your Gu family despised strong-arming and plundering. I didn't expect your methods to be so dirty. So disgusting. Wei Yan's words, like a boulder thrown into a calm lake. It stirred up layers of waves. Offended all the Gu sisters. Everyone's expression turned gloomy. Gu Wanra was also extremely agitated. Her words, squeezed through clenched teeth, were filled with anger. Wei Yan, make yourself clear. You haven't finished speaking, have you? The Gu sisters gradually started to figure things out. They speculated secretly in the mountains. It can't possibly be the shadow cast by the little sister, can it? Inside the Gu family villa. The atmosphere was equally heavy and oppressive. I ran over and snatched Wei Yan's phone. After turning it off, I reluctantly spoke up. I said I was willing. Don't get involved in this matter. Wei Yan and Yen Liang stared at me blankly. Their hearts were full of helplessness. When it comes down to it, their power was no match for the Gu family. Jiang Chen, I'll take you back right now. Is Y country good? This is what Wei Yan thought about for a long time. He thought it was the best solution. He wanted me to go out and hide for a bit. As soon as O Wanqing went abroad. Let Jiang Chen come back again. It's been a long time. The old 10 of the Gu family will probably slowly forget as well. Actually, I've thought about this plan too. But I know these methods. None of them are useful to Gu Wanqing. She won't let me off. Even if I go to the ends of the earth. She will still find me. By then, what will happen to those who helped me? I dare not think deeply. Even if I have to run. I cannot implicate Wei Yan and Yen Liang. I can't go abroad. Today, I've already registered my marriage with Gu Wanqing. Upon hearing this, Wei Yan and Yen Liang turned pale. Standing in place, their lips trembled. For a long time, they couldn't say a word. I went to the wine cabinet and took out 3 bottles of red wine. I forced a smile and handed them to their hands. Let's not talk about anything else. How about we not leave until we're drunk tonight? The 3 of us drank from inside the house to outside. Drinking from the villa to outside the villa. Finally, I sat drunkenly on the bench in front of the villa's main gate. At that moment, several supercars roared in. They stopped in front of us. Drunk, I actually thought she was still abroad. Stumbling to my feet, I was about to run. This completely baffled Wei Yan and Yen Liang. For those two, this little bit of alcohol was like drinking water. Yen Liang grabbed my wrist and asked in confusion. Run from what? It's just a few women. And yet you're scared like this? I tried to pry open Yen Liang's hand. You should run too. KBFC is here. They have guns. Upon hearing this, Wei Yan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Yen Liang was stunned for a moment, then he laughed too. The KBFCs who just got out of the sports car stood frozen in place. The leader of the security personnel, Gu Wanqing. She strode over to me. She hugged me tightly. Looking at me anxiously, she whispered, "Hubby, how did you drink so much?" Speaking of which, she even reached out to touch my face. I took 2 steps back. Shake your head vigorously. I regained a moment of clarity. After confirming that the woman in front of me was Gu Wanqing, I was really fed up. Why is she coming to find me again? Seeing Gu Wanqing, I turned to leave. At this moment, Wei Yan slowly spoke up. Jiang Chen, there are no outsiders here. Tell them your thoughts. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone's gaze turned towards me. Wei Yan looked at me. Speak up. I would like to see how the Gu family plans to handle this matter. How they operate in the capital city. This was also the purpose of Wei Yan calling Gu Wanru. He wanted to find someone who could temporarily suppress Gu Wanqing. This person, undoubtedly, it is the eldest of the Gu family, Gu Wanru. If Gu Wanru knew the full extent of the situation, she wouldn't be able to manage her sister. Then Jiang Chen wants to get rid of Gu Wanqing completely. It will only become more difficult. Right now, Wei Yan wants to test the Gu family's attitude. If this route doesn't work, he'll think of other ways. I naturally didn't let Wei Yan down. I clenched my fists and lifted my head. I looked at the woman not far away venting. Gu Wanqing, I don't love you. I don't want to marry you either. Just let me go. Don't take someone else's life again. Are you here to threaten me? Upon hearing these words, the faces of the 9 Gu sisters turned instantly pale. It was already clear in their hearts. Little sister, this is the marriage certificate Mr. Jiang obtained. It's obvious. They don't want to be with little sister at all. Gu Wanqing strode up to me with her long legs. She lowered her head and looked at me gently. Jiang Chen, you've had too much to drink. Wait until you sober up tomorrow. And then tell me once you've thought it through. Me, once again threatened. Had hatred filled in my eyes. She glared at her angrily. I'm very clear-headed right now. I won't let you manipulate me anymore. I don't want to suffer any longer. Gu Wanqing, completely driven mad by me. The corners of my eyes were already bloodshot. A cruel smile curled at the corners of her mouth. Good. I don't mind waking you up a little more. After saying that, she pulled out her phone from her pocket. She turned it on and held the screen in front of my eyes. Seeing the injured person on the screen, I held my breath. I reached out to grab the phone. But Gu Wanqing held it tightly. Are you awake now? The woman asked. A chill ran through my heart. All my strength dissipated in that moment. I felt so weak that I wanted to kneel on the ground. Seeing this, Wei Yan and Yan Liang quickly got up. They wanted to rush over to help me. But to their surprise, they were stopped by Gu Wanru and Gu Shui. They wouldn't let Wei Yan and Yan Liang get close to me by even a step. Here, Yi Wanqing pulls me into her embrace. The large hand gently stroking my back trembled uncontrollably. But even so, she still obstinately asked me, are you awake? Jiang Chen, tell me, are you awake? My knuckles turned white from the pressure. I lifted my head to look at her. Gu Wanqing, you promised me. You wouldn't hurt innocent people again. Why did you go back on your word? Just as the words left my mouth, Gu Wanqing lowered her head to look at me. The pain in her eyes was almost overflowing. Her voice was deep and hoarse. What about me? Jiang Chen, what about me? You protect everyone around you, even if you've only met them once. You are generous with your kindness. Why is it that what others can easily have, I can only long for but cannot reach? Jiang Chen, being with me, is it really that difficult? The 9 sisters of the Tang family saw the way their sister suffered in unrequited love. Everyone couldn't help but clench their fists. If the 10th brother-in-law dies, he still won't be with Wanqing. As older sisters, am I going to watch my sister go crazy? I really didn't want to answer Gu Xiaoqing's question. My mind was filled with the gunshot wounds on Su Yanran. Her in my phone. She seemed to have run away after being shot. It's good that you ran. I hope she doesn't come looking for me. Gu Wanqing precisely caught the worry and relief in my eyes. She was so jealous that her body trembled. It's so cold. She really feels so cold. Gu Wanqing's glamorous face began to turn pale. Cold sweat broke out on her forehead. Jiang Chen, have you fallen for her? Everyone present was waiting for my answer. But faced with this question, did I have any other choice? Tell Gu Wanqing. Yen likes Su Yanran. Stop messing around. Isn't this harming Su Yanran? Well, I do like you a little. But that liking is very faint. 2 seconds after Gu Wanqing asked me. But that liking is very faint. I don't like her. Hearing me say that I don't like you. All 9 of the Gu sisters sighed in relief. Good thing the brother-in-law doesn't like her. If he really likes another woman, my little sister will be devastated. However, Gu Wanqing suddenly pushed me away. She laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. I don't like her. After saying that, she slightly bent over. The phone pressed against her chest. Blood was coughed out from her mouth. Blood dripped from the corner of her mouth onto the ground. Seeing Gu Wanqing spit blood was enough to scare Gu Wanru. Hastily ran to her side. I wanted to take her to the hospital, but Gu Wanqing pushed me away. At this moment, she could see nothing but me. She couldn't see anything else. She grabbed my hand, walked towards the sports car. Wei Yan and Yan Liang also ran over. They wanted to stop her. just as Yen Liang grabbed my wrist, trying to help me break free. He was kicked away by Gu Wanqing in the next second. Yishui ran over to help Yen Liang up from the ground. She saw him holding his stomach, looking pale. The malice on his face couldn't be hidden. At this moment, Wei Yan had also been pulled aside by Gu Wanru. At the moment Yen Liang was kicked down, I was truly furious. I couldn't believe I couldn't break free from her grip. Maybe I drank too much that night. Instinctively, I tried to bite. My sharp teeth even bit through Yi Wanqing's hand. Did not stop at all. It seemed like she wouldn't stop until she bit through a vein. Little did she know how satisfying this revenge was for me. For Gu Wanqing, it was quite something. She stood in front of the sports car. Wang kissed the back of her hand fiercely. A sickly smile appeared on her cold, beautiful face. This scene freaked Wei Yan out completely. Even Gu Wanru and her sisters couldn't help but frown at this. They all frowned involuntarily. Gu Wanqing looked down and saw me. She surprisingly used her other hand to touch my head. At that moment, I sensed something was off. I released my mouth. After looking up and seeing the woman's gaze, I was so shocked that I couldn't speak. Crazy. Gu Wanqing is a madwoman. Seeing me let go, Gu Wanqing brought her hand back to my mouth, signaling me to continue. I felt a bit scared. I wanted to back away. Gu Wanqing smiled. She pulled me into the sports car and left. In a year, I've grown too lazy to run anymore. The moment I resist, those around me get hurt. On the way, I leaned back in the seat with my eyes closed. Out of sight, out of mind. But I can't help but notice someone frequently looking at me. After a while, the sports car came to a stop in a deserted area. At the moment the car stopped, I opened my eyes. I wanted to unbuckle my seatbelt and get out. But when I saw the pitch black outside, I turned my head to ask, Gu Wanqing, what does this mean? The woman was taking out bandages and anti-inflammatory medicine to dress her hand. She glanced at me and smirked. Guess what? I couldn't care less about her. I unbuckled my seatbelt. I wanted to open the car door and get out, but found that the car door was locked by this SJB. For a moment, neither of us in the car wanted to speak. I thought it was better not to say anything. Once you talk, you'll have to argue. A few minutes passed. I felt a bit drowsy. I've been really tired these past few days. I drank so much alcohol again today. I'm already completely exhausted. I adjusted my sitting position. I leaned back against the car seat with my back to Gu Wanqing and fell asleep. As a result, I had just dozed off. I was woken up by Gu Wanqing. Jiang Chen helped me get my phone. I didn't want to pay attention to her. But I heard someone threatening me again. Not helping me. I'll go after your two good friends. That's right. And I won't let go of those lovers of yours abroad either. I was so angry that I straightened up immediately. I turned my head and glared at Gu Wanqing. Are you out of your mind? Don't threaten me. Do you think you can get away with this? Gu Wanqing, who was scolded, just smiled, nodded and replied. I'm indeed out of my mind. It felt like hitting cotton with a punch. There's simply nothing we can do about him. I questioned irritably. It's clear. The woman closed her eyes again. The whole person is extremely lazy. You can look for it on me yourself. I'm really going to be driven crazy by Gu Wanqing. Gritting my teeth, I turned around and leaned closer. I reached my hand into the right pocket. The moment I touched my phone, I quickly took it out. But in the next moment, I was hugged by the woman with her eyes wide open. She pulled me closer to herself. The movement was so fast that I hadn't even gasped. I was silenced by her. This kiss. Just like her, she was domineering and strong. There was no way to refuse. In the blazing midday sun, the car stopped in front of the private villa. The car at the bottom of the hill opened the passenger door. She pulled me into the villa. Being awakened like this made me almost go mad with anger. Gu Wanqing, you are really a madwoman. Did I commit sins in my past life? Encountering Gu Wanqing in this life. After getting out of the car, I went to take a shower and continue sleeping. 2 p.m. I was sleeping soundly. The phone kept ringing over and over. It was so noisy it was driving me crazy. Gu Wanqing beside me had actually been awake for a while. During the time we broke up, she only slept 2 or 3 hours a day. And then she couldn't sleep at all. But now she can actually sleep while holding me. But she doesn't dare to sleep too much. Afraid that all of this is just a dream of hers. Just now, Gu Wanqing woke up and hugged me. Didn't put the mountain back in her belly. She wanted to wake me up, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. The phone is ringing, but Yi Wanqing isn't answering. She just wanted to see me angry. Just like when we were in love. After I was woken up, I reached out and tapped Gu Wanqing's head. Annoyed, I said. Answer the phone. It's too noisy. If it were someone else calling Gu Wanqing, the life was probably long gone. From childhood to now, who would dare to lay a finger on her? Gu Wanqing smiled gently. Okay. Wake up, my dear husband. Someone will be coming over soon. She got out of bed and picked up the phone from the sofa. After connecting, she replied with a couple of MHMS. Then the call was abruptly cut off. After we went downstairs. Then, Wanqing went to the kitchen to make me something to eat. As soon as I went in, it didn't take long. When Gu Wanqing came out again. Husband, what do you want to eat? At this moment, I was eating an apple from the coffee table. I didn't turn to look at her. Her mouth was stuffed full. I mumbled in response. I want to eat fried chicken. Gu Wanqing frowned. No. She looked at the apple in my hand. I could tell it was quite bothersome to her. I pretended to be very disappointed. I awkwardly added. No, there isn't. Then I want to eat hot pot. Heh. Hot pot. Even after 2 nights, she still can't manage it. In the past, when we were abroad, she never let me eat those things. Because I have a sensitive stomach. Gu Wanqing was very strict about it. I've been feeling so stifled these past couple of days. I should also make her a bit uncomfortable. Sure enough, I mentioned that I wanted hot pot. Gu Wanqing's expression darkened immediately. She squeezed out 2 words through gritted teeth. None. I was about to burst out laughing. I tried hard to suppress my smile, turned my head to the side, pretended to lock on. Then let's have boiled pork slices. Don't tell me this isn't available either. After saying that, I took a bite of the apple in my hand. If I don't eat something soon, I'm afraid I'm going to die of laughter. But in the next moment, Gu Wanqing's face turned dark. She strode over. She snatched the apple out of my hand. She casually threw it onto the tea table. She leaned down. She placed her hands on the arm of the sofa beside my head. She stared at me with a smile. It seems you're still not hungry, hubby. Since you're not hungry, then you should feed me first. I shrank back a bit. Eating noodles. Gu Wanqing raised an eyebrow and asked. Am I being too unfair to you? I really can't afford to speak nonsense anymore. I quickly tied my hair back to explain. It's not unfair. I really want to eat the noodles you made. Upon hearing this, Gu Wanqing's expression improved a lot. She patted my head gently. Then she got up and headed to the kitchen. After she left, I finally sighed in relief as I sat on the sofa. This is our mutual understanding during meals. It's an unspoken process of ordering food. If I had dared not to comply just now, I would probably be on a bed trip again now. Even if he were made of iron, there wouldn't be anyone so thorough. Gu Wanqing cooks quickly. It was ready in just over 10 minutes. She held a bowl of noodles in one hand, and came out with a child and a spoon in the other. After placing it on the dining table, she waved at me. I sat down on the dining chair. I picked up my chopsticks and began to eat noodles. I had just finished my first bite. My eyes immediately squinted. It's delicious. Ever since I left Gu Wanqing, I've never eaten anything so delicious. Gu Wanqing walked over to me. She pulled out a chair and sat down. Seeing that I still enjoyed eating her noodles, she felt a pang in her heart. After I left, she not only had trouble sleeping, but even eating became a huge issue. At the worst moment, she would throw up right after finishing a meal. She had no choice but to make some food I liked. Whenever I do it, I end up doing 2 portions. She was deceiving herself. I didn't leave. Over time, those few dishes I loved the most became even more outstanding when she made them. I was completely immersed in the food. I paid no attention to someone's fiery gaze. I knew Gu Wanqing loved me very much. Her love placed me at the tip of her heart. She wished she could give me her whole heart. Just give it all to me. But we are both people from completely different worlds. It's just like Gu Wanqing's preference for certain people. I just can't accept it. When she goes crazy, she doesn't even spare innocent people. I also can't accept it. She wants me to have eyes only for her all the time. I also can't accept it. I used to foolishly think I could change her. In the end, I realized that was just a dream. Even if Gu Wanqing loves me more, her fundamentally sickly and obsessive nature won't change one bit. Gu Wanqing has no idea what I'm thinking right now. Asked out loud, why are you not eating? Is something wrong? I gently shake my head and continue eating the noodles. At this moment, Gu Wanru and Gu Shui, along with a middle-aged woman, pushed open the villa door, and slowly walked in. They saw me eating noodles, and sat down on the sofa, waiting. I glanced up at them together. I turned to look at Gu Wanqing beside me. You go ahead and get busy. Just stay here and enjoy your noodles. Not included. Gu Wanqing didn't get up. She's not in a hurry. But I'm anxious. After all, I'm being watched by a few women while eating. I'm not used to that. I kicked the woman's leg. Seeing this, Gu Wanqing had no choice but to obey. She got up and walked behind me. She patted my head. Only then did she head towards the sofa. Just after giving birth, that middle-aged man handed her the lie detector. Gu Wanqing didn't ask much more. She took it and put it on her wrist. She had been seeing a psychologist for a year. She was already familiar with the process. The middle-aged woman turned on the display screen. She glanced at me while I was eating noodles. Her tone was a bit hesitant. Miss Shi, shall we begin now? Gu Wanqing nodded and said. Let's start. I, sitting here eating noodles, was filled with confusion. I couldn't understand what they were planning to do. Do you like to hurt people? Among the middle-aged women. Gu Wanqing nodded and said. Yes, I do. The lie detector didn't go off. This means she wasn't lying. The woman then gradually got to the point. Have you thought about your family? Have thought about it. The lie detector didn't go off. Parents and sisters. Including your husband. You've thought about it too, right? Gu Wanqing's response left everyone in the room stunned. Gu Wanru and Gu Shue's faces looked extremely unpleasant. It's not because she's annoyed by her younger sister wanting to hurt them, but because she actually wanted to hurt her brother-in-law too. The younger sister's illness. It's really getting worse. I, who was eating noodles, was dumbfounded. I had to believe that Gu Wanqing was truly sick now. She actually wanted to hurt her parents and sisters too. It's simply outrageous. The middle-aged woman was sweating profusely on her forehead. She knew Gu Wanqing was seriously ill. I didn't expect it to be this severe. They've lost the last bit of humanity. But there's nothing I can do. She still had to continue asking. Have you ever felt like you don't want to hurt anyone? No. As soon as Gu Wanqing finished speaking, the polygraph emitted a deafening sound. Gu Wanru and Gu Shui showed a hint of joy on their faces. Even the middle-aged woman got excited. It seems Miss Gu still has hope. At least there are times when she doesn't want to hurt others. As long as it's asked. Guide her well. It should definitely help improve Miss Gu's condition. The middle-aged woman suppressed her excitement. She eagerly asked Gu Wanqing. Miss Gu, please think carefully again. When was there a time you didn't have the impulse to hurt others? When the polygraph went off just now. Gu Wanqing was momentarily stunned herself. At this point, she had already figured it out. When have I ever not wanted to drink someone? She smirked and replied. When it was about Jiang Chen. The lie detector didn't go off. The people in the room were completely stunned. What kind of outrageous answer is this? I was just drinking my milk. Hearing Dala say this. Spat it out in one go. Everyone's gaze turned to me. I really wanted to find a crack in the ground to hide in. I awkwardly grabbed a tissue from the table to wipe my mouth. I lowered my head and wanted to run upstairs. Damn it. Can't I avoid what I can't deal with? Wanqing's smile grew wider. She looked at me, wanting to escape, and said. No going upstairs. Come to my side. Next to me, Gu Wanru and Gu Shui couldn't help but smirk. My sister is not just a SJB now. She's also become a super love-struck fool. It's clear I don't want to hear Wanqing's words. Since I've been discovered. If you don't run, what are you waiting for? I had just taken a step. When Wanqing's voice rang out. When Jiang Chen was by my side. I don't really want to hurt anyone. The lie detector was silent. Then the voices of 3 women came through again. What a scene. Young madam. Now I'm done for, I can't run. The path has been completely blocked by Gu Wanqing. The instigator looked smug. She patted the spot next to her and said. Hubby, come over here. Otherwise, I'm going to make a scene. Gu Wanru and Gu Shui looked at me nervously. I hesitated and slowly walked over to sit beside Wanqing. This conversation lasted a full half hour. I was so shocked I went numb. And the more I listened, the more outrageous it became. I could finally confirm. Wanqing is indeed a complete psycho. A woman of such high caliber. How did I end up encountering her? The middle-aged woman's shirt was soaked with cold sweat. She quietly took out her phone. She walked outside. She needed to call her mentor overseas. Miss Gu can't really treat this illness anymore. She needs to squeeze out her talents. The Yi sisters are both feeling overwhelmed. Leaning on the sofa, she looked at Gu Wanqing. She opened her mouth but then used it again. Gu Wanqing seemed as if she didn't see it at all. She grabbed my hand. She brought it to her lips and kissed it repeatedly. Let's go. Gu Shui stood up. Gu Wanru rubbed her forehead. She also stood up from the sofa and looked at me. Her tone was calm and polite. Brother-in-law. You all will return to the old house together in the evening. I nodded in response. All right. After getting a reply, the 2 sisters, Gu Wanru and Gu Wanqing, left. For a moment, the living room was left with only me and Gu Wanqing, facing someone who seemed like they wanted to devour me alive. I truly felt restless. I could only look at him. I need to go to the bathroom. Gu Wanqing opened her mouth, her eyes dark. How long? I thought for a moment. 5 minutes. Gu Wanqing smiled slightly. I'll give you 2 minutes. Damn 2 minutes. Even going to the bathroom has to be timed by her. I quickly shook my head to refuse. 5 minutes. Or was Gu Wanqing staring at me intently? Her other hand lightly brushed against my lips. Her fingertips pressed down again and again. Just 2 minutes. If you don't want to, then don't go. As soon as she finished speaking, her body leaned in closer. How could I dare to haggle further? I quickly spoke up. 2 minutes. Gu Wanqing released me upon getting a satisfactory answer. At the moment she let go of me, I quickly stood up, ran to the bathroom as if it were a matter of life and death. Oh my god. What am I going to do? Who can take this lunatic away? Does she have nothing else on her mind? I ran to the bathroom. After closing the door and locking it 7 times, finally sat down on the toilet seat. I need to think about what to do in the future. It seems I can't run away. Do I really have to spend my life with her? She is indeed good to herself, but being together is just too stifling. Otherwise, I might as well compromise for the greater good. I can divorce her after Yi Wanqing gets bored. She probably thinks I don't love her. I'm not obsessed with her. That's why she thinks it's challenging. If I obey everything, will she eventually get bored over time? I'm brainstorming in the bathroom. The woman on the sofa in the living room is also deep in thought. Gu Wanqing's beautiful face looks extremely sinister. Her man. She wants to avoid herself. What about going to the bathroom? It's all just self-deception. When he lets go, his lips will tremble lightly. But how much he shakes. Gu Wanqing stands up and walks toward the bathroom door. She lightly tapped the door with her finger. Don't worry. I'm not here to rush you. Hearing that she wasn't here to push me out, I let out a slight sigh of relief. Immediately, the woman's hoarse voice came again from outside the door. Jiang Chen, don't ever lie to me again, okay? I looked at the door, wanting to respond, but those words just wouldn't come out. How could I promise not to deceive her again? These past few days with Gu Wanqing, haven't I just been deceiving her all along? Jiang Chen, give me 2 years, okay? 2 years later. If you still don't like me, if you hate me, if you want to leave, then just let me know, and I'll let you go, alright? Speaking of which, the woman outside seemed a bit unsteady on her feet, leaning against the door. Her breathing grew more rapid. Even so, Gu Wanqing continued speaking. What you don't like? If I said I would change it 100%, definitely won't do it. Then that would definitely be a lie. I don't want to deceive you. I truly want to change as well. In the future, what you like, I will go learn. You rejoice in evil, I abandon. Jiang Chen, can you give me a chance? I got up and walked to the door. I reached out to unlock the door, yet I hesitated to push the door open. I admit, her words left me in turmoil. These few words were once what I longed for in my dreams. But now, times have changed. The love of the past. It's not something that can just return. During this time after breaking up, I have moved forward. While Yi Wanqing still lingers in place, waiting. Time passed in my silence. Suddenly, the woman yanked the door open from the outside. Yi Wanqing took a step forward. She tightly embraced me. Her words were filled with pleading, life. I won't ask you anymore. I won't ask you for an answer either. Jiang Chen held me tightly. I held her. The two of us no longer spoke. At this moment, silence was more powerful than words. At that moment, a chaotic sound of footsteps came in. Gu Wanqing quickly pushed me away from her arms. A charmingly handsome face seemed to be covered in a satisfied blush. She looked down at me and seriously instructed. Lock the door. Don't come out if you hear any sounds. Without waiting for my response, she went out and locked the door from the outside. After Gu Wanqing left, I was filled with worry inside. How could this hateful demon lock me inside? Is her enemy here to seek revenge? If my phone isn't broken, I could still call someone for help. Now, thinking about it is pointless. I hope nothing happens to Gu Wanqing. At that moment, a blonde woman was sitting on the sofa in the living room. Behind her stood 8 foreign strongmen dressed in combat gear. Each of them had a gun slung across their chest. In such a situation, Gu Wanqing, however, walked over without any restraint. Seeing her approach, 8 men in combat gear all chambered their guns. The gun stock was pressed against my shoulder, aiming precisely. Unfortunately, Gu Wanqing didn't pay them any attention. She walked to the sofa opposite the blonde woman. Gu Wanqing glanced at her sideways, her tone cold. You came quite fast. Su Yanran straightened her body and smiled at her. Can't afford to be slow, can I? If I'm any slower, my man will be taken by you. Upon hearing this, Gu Wanqing let out a cold laugh. A murderous intent surged in her eyes. Your girl, Miss Gu has meddled in. He has agreed to be my boyfriend. Su Yanran responded with a smile. Gu Wanqing looked at her meaningfully. You are indeed the first. The first one asking for death. Su Yanran retracted her smile. The chubby guy glanced toward the bathroom. He waved his hand. The subordinate who got the signal moved closer to that direction. But just at that moment, the villa's main door was kicked open by a group of men in black. Each of them was also armed with QZ. They rushed in and surrounded Su Yanran and her subordinates. Su Yanran, firmly locked in the crosshairs. She showed no fear. Su Yanran looked at Gu Wanqing, as if she were sighing. Jiang Chen is my man. As soon as those words were spoken, Gu Gu Wanqing's subordinates didn't dare to breathe. Not daring to breathe was the right choice. Because Gu Wanqing was about to explode with anger, she quickly took out SQ from her lower back, aiming at Su Yanran's head from a distance. Upon seeing this scene, Su Yanran's subordinates, who had already aimed at Gu Wanqing, were ready to pull the trigger. At that moment, both sides were on high alert. It felt like a spark could ignite a fire at any moment. Su Yanran signaled with her hand, indicating her subordinates not to move recklessly. Her subordinates naturally didn't dare to act recklessly, but Gu Wanqing didn't care about that. Suddenly, there was the sound of a gunshot. ZD passed by Su Yanran. Su Yanran remained as calm as ever. Her tone was completely unperturbed. Miss Gu, then let's speak frankly. If you don't want any trouble in Chicago, I advise you not to set your sights on me. After all, if I die, what you stand to lose isn't just the lives of your sisters. The whole of M country. Miss Gu would no longer hold all the power. Miss Gu, you're saying. Gu Wanqing looked at her with interest. Put down the SQ. I truly underestimated you. Last night, Gu Wanqing found out that Su Yanran was the illegitimate daughter of HSD Solon from M country. She was very unpopular when she was young. In just 1 year after reaching adulthood, she developed a power that even the royal family feared in the area. Originally, none of this had anything to do with Gu Wanqing, but she has something to do with her man. Otherwise, Gu Wanqing wouldn't have sent someone to deal with Su Yanran yesterday. I had just arrived in the small town in country Y after breaking up. During an outdoor sketching trip, I happened to be seen by Su Yanran, who had just finished dealing with her enemies. She quickly bought the place where I was living. She became my landlord. Every day she tried every possible way to get close to me. As for how our relationship developed afterwards, there's no way to trace it. Even if it were traced, what could be done? Yi Wanqing is not oblivious. The man by her side seems to have feelings for Su Yanran. But Gu Wanqing can disregard all of this. To put it harshly, let's not say I didn't talk to her. Even if they get married, Gu Wanqing wouldn't care either. During the time when Gu Wanqing couldn't find me, it was Su Yanran who was causing trouble. Now she comes to threaten me. Presumably, she is trying to leverage the power of country Y, using HSD from M country to restrain Gu Wanqing. Here, Su Yanran heard Gu Wanqing say she underestimated her. Shaking his head disapprovingly. I underestimated Miss Gu. The nearby signals have all been blocked by me. How could Miss Gu's subordinates arrive so quickly? Yi Wanqing had no mood to exchange pleasantries with her. With a face full of impatience. You can't take her away. Do you want to get lost or die? You choose. Su Yanran looked at her. Miss Gu, you still don't understand my meaning. Jiang Chen. I will definitely take her away today. If you don't stop, I will show you something. Then he took out a small black remote control, pressing down on the top button with his finger. Suddenly, outside the villa, there was a loud bang. Thick smoke billowed up. Yi Wanqing was not shocked, just a bit surprised. This is the new type of WQ just developed in M country. Similar to ZD, but it's 1,000 times more powerful than ZD. Lightweight and portable. Just now, the sound was extremely wooden. It's just that Su Yanran probably used less than 10 milliliters. Otherwise, this area would probably be blown to ashes. Gu Wanqing wouldn't mistake this sound. When WQ first emerged, she tested it in M country. The new framework saw Gu Wanqing not speaking, and didn't rush to speak again. Miss Gu, considering it for a moment. Otherwise, later on. The two older sisters present will probably also. With a sound of a hand, blown to ashes, Su Yanran spoke, while recklessly making an explosion gesture with her right hand. Not sure if his actions were too ridiculous, or if she found this threat uninteresting. Gu Wanqing unexpectedly laughed. Her mocking tone was filled with disdain. Don't wait any longer. Blow them to ashes right now. Let me have a look. Upon hearing this, Su Yanran's expression stiffened. This was originally the last trump card to threaten Gu Wanqing. How could you use it without seeing me first? Indeed, Gu Wanqing is an extremely troublesome woman. She can no longer waste time talking to Gu Wanqing. Otherwise, the situation will only become more unfavorable. Su Yanran shouted towards the bathroom. Dear, I've come to see you. Are you still going to hide from me? If you don't come out soon, I'm going to be in big trouble because of her. This, dear, undoubtedly touches Gu Wanqing's weak spot. Yi Wanqing can stay calm in everything. Except when it comes to me. What a ridiculous territory. To hell with all of it. Now Gu Wanqing insists on taking down Su Yanran. With one shot, I'll take her out. At that moment, several helicopters hovered over the villa. Ropes were thrown down from the air. The descending operatives were armed with QZs. They broke in directly through the bathroom window. This really frightened me. I couldn't hear what Gu Wanqing and the others were saying. The only thing I heard was Su Yanran calling me to come out. As a result, this good fellow, These people broke in directly through the window from outside. I can't let them catch me like fish in a barrel. This world. Sure enough, they didn't even recognize me. In the living room, Iwanqing. Naturally, I heard the sound of the window shattering in the bathroom. I couldn't care about anything else. She ran over to find me in big strides. Just as I rushed out, Gu Wanqing held my hand with her left hand. Her right hand was firing at the few people in the bathroom. The gunfire was extremely fast. Before those people could aim at Gu Wanqing, they were all shot in the head, one by one. In just a few SE, a few people fell into a pool of blood, lifeless. The night cleared after I dealt with them. Quickly hugged me tightly. At that moment, a familiar voice came through. Darling, do you miss me? I looked towards the source of the sound. I saw Su Yenran sitting on the sofa. She pressed her lips together. Didn't I tell you? Aren't you going to come find me? Su Yenran's eyes rippled with layers of emotion. She smirked as she replied. I miss you. Hearing such straightforward words, I was taken aback for a moment. Before she could react, the woman in front of me shifted her feet, blocking her gaze completely. Iwanqing looked down at me intently. Her eyes seemed to blaze with fiery anger. She squeezed out through clenched teeth. Jiang Chen, do you take me for a dead person? Then she suddenly turned around. She poured a drink toward the woman sitting on the sofa. With a loud bang, my heart couldn't help but tremble.